Hello beautiful, lovely crafty friends. I'm Sasha and this is Love Builds Up Crafts, and today we are in Africa. Obviously we're in my bedroom, we're craft, so ignore all of this stuff and just focus on the beautiful cards that we're going to make today using the Karin Joan Missees die set by Studio Light, or the other way around, probably the other way around. But either way, the Missees set die sets, that's what we're going to use. And what we're going to do is show you how to add cute little hats like this to your Missees dolls, or you can even do something like what the Queen wears, those beautiful hats that the Queen wears. You don't have to do an African hat, but I'm going to show you how to add an hat nonetheless. And also we're going to see how to turn your Missees into a mister. I had to say that part slow because I kept getting it wrong. So we're going to see how you can turn your Missees into a mister, just in case you want to make a card for a man in your life. So without further delay, which is mostly me talking, and obviously you're not here to admire my hat, so let's just get to the card making. It's over here. I don't know why I keep pointing that side. The desk is clearly over here. Let's get to the card making. You're gonna need some white cardstock. We'll trim it down later, and then some scraps of whatever color cardstock that you want, an embossing folder if that's what you want for your background, and then the Missees stamp and die set. That's the only thing that's not optional. And then the paper, Karin Joan Basics paper pad, but you can use whatever paper pad you want, whatever papers you want. It doesn't even have to be a pad. And then some VersaFine ink. I've chosen VersaFine because pigment ink is easier for me. Okay, just gonna do a quick flip through of the paper pad so that you can see the beautiful skin tones. And on the reverse of each skin tone color is just a beautifully colored cardstock that you can use to make dresses, I guess. I really love this paper pad. I feel like the matte texture and the whole look of it, I really love it. And today I'm going to go with this skin tone, a lighter skin tone, because I'm actually making this card for a friend who likes African things, even though she's not, but she has a deep appreciation for it, so I appreciate her right back. So I was trying to see if the cardstock has names, but they don't have names. They're just beautiful cardstock. And on the reverse of this one is beautiful matte black. So what I like to do is to stamp my face first. Obviously not there, because then I'm not gonna have any space to cut the neck. So I just prefer stamping the face first, because I find it's easier to then place the die over the face without messing it up, because I have messed up a couple of times. It's actually really hard to get the placement of the eyes and the rest of the mouth, because the mouth actually comes as a separate piece. But that's just me. It's hard for me. It could be very simple for you, but for sake of insurance, I just stamp the face first, and then I go in with my die and cut out the face. So I just need to align it. It's like, it's honestly really so hard for me to do this bit. It makes me so nervous, but then because you don't want to waste your beautiful cardstock. I mean, there's only 32 sheets of this cardstock, and it's not like you get the same color all 32. It's just maybe 3 or 4 of the same color, so I don't really want to mess up, so I'm taking my precious time. Okay guys, I'm going to have like a unpopular opinion. I don't like this stamp platform. Honestly, like, it's so hard for me to use. It actually makes me dread. I usually, like, I'm 100% a tonic fan, but I just don't know. Maybe I'm using it the wrong way. That could be the issue. I could be using it the wrong way. So please tell me if I'm using it the wrong way, because honestly, I can never get a first good impression. I have to like put so much strength into getting an impression with this stamping platform, and I just do not understand how you're supposed to use this. It's like the most difficult thing to just press down, because it is obviously well made, so it's so steady. It's so hard to just get, just watch me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. See, I even had to get like one of my jars of my pens to like add pressure. I've tried everything except that little tool, the Debbie tool, because I don't know where to get it in England. So if you do know, please let me know, because I am not paying shipping for anything. No, I'm not doing that. I mean like extra shipping, like out of the country shipping, because that's like 15 or 20 pounds, and I have like 3 kids. 15 or 20 pounds can buy them McDonald's. I would rather buy the McDonald's than to pay that to ship my stamps or my craft products. I don't know. I'll just rather use British shops, or something where I can get free shipping, or where I'm not spending the same price as a treat for my children, if that makes sense. Anyway, that time it worked because I added pressure with the glass thing, but I had to add so much pressure. Honestly, I can't show it on the screen, but it was absolutely so much pressure. Like my wrists were hurting the next day. That's how much pressure I had to add. Most of the time, if I need to use this stamp platform, I'll just call my husband, because I just know there's got to be something I'm doing wrong. So please let me know what I'm doing wrong, please. Okay, so I'm just trying to align here so that I get the lips right. This is such a fiddly part. This part is like, I'm like screaming internally, because you don't want to get it wrong like this far into it. I know I've just done the eyes and the nose, but the lips need to be in the right place. And if they aren't, then you need to start again. Such a fiddly set. But once this part is done, it's over. Oh yeah, what I like to do is stamp with some red lipstick, give a bit of lippy. So what I do is go in with the dark color, go in with the lighter red, and then do a darker red around the edges, just to give it a bit of variety. Because you know, what's life without variety? Marriage, I guess. I know. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. So yeah, I just stamp and then try and get her some beautiful red lippy. You see, this time, because I didn't apply extraordinary amounts of pressure, look at that impression. That is not right. It's not right at all. And this is what I mean. Like, just tell me what I'm doing wrong. This is so frustrating. Every time I have to stamp, like, a part of me dies. I'm like, no way. And the thing is, like, everybody else raves about this stamping platform. Not flatform. Platform. It's like the second Misty, I guess. Yeah, the poor man's Misty, because this is way cheaper than the Misty, I guess. But yeah, I just can't use this. I would rather use my £20 stamping platform from Amazon, but then it broke, so yeah, I have to get a replacement. But that brings me much more joy than this. This is so much work. It seriously can't be this much work. So I'm convinced there's something I must be doing wrong. I have watched the team holds demonstrations, but I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I'm just gonna align the die there and get ready to cut, and cross my fingers and toes that I don't mess it up. And I'm using some low tack tape. It's very, very low tack. I think it's painter's tape actually, and what I do is I just stick it on my clothes like everybody else and just hope for the best. So just take that through your die cut machine, and there you go, you have your leading lady. Isn't she just the prettiest? Be so delicate with her. I'm just gonna take a micron focus camera, a micron '03 pen, and try and fix those lips that the stamping platform ruined. It's obviously not my bad stamping skills, it's the stamping platform. But I'm gonna try and fix it with the micron pen. If I'm ever going to share anything with you that you take into actual account, let it be this. Get yourself a set of micron pens, black micron pens, and white gel pens, and a set of good coloring pencils. Those three things can rescue almost any card. I say almost because obviously I haven't rescued all my horrible cards, but those three things normally work when applied. So take that little bit of information and do what you may with it. I just added some dots on her lips just to give her lips a bit of a pop. Oh, did you see that transition? So cool and totally unplanned. But anyway, go ahead and emboss your panel. That's my panel that is 8.5 by 3.5. I just got this cheap embossing folder from Amazon, but you can use whatever background you want to do. It's up to you. And then I'm just gonna try and see if she fits and how I would sort out an arrangement, sort of just try and figure out how to place her on there, and she fits. So I'm gonna leave it like that. This panel is actually 1 inch shorter than the card base. Yes, 1 inch smaller than the card base on the sides, because I wanted the card base to then give a little bit of a border, which you'll see later. So let's just move on to the next bit. Yay, so finally we get to make the hat. So just take your face die and then align it so that it's at the bottom of your piece of scrap paper, and then just cut off that bit so that you're left with that curve, and that's gonna be the bottom bit of your hat that goes over her head. See, that fits perfectly. So now I'm just taking a pencil and drawing a line from the corner of the curve to the edge. Just use a ruler, man. There you go. Okay, I've got a ruler. I don't know why I'm like this, honestly. Just use the ruler. So quick and easy. So just draw your line from the corner to the edge of the paper, just like so. Fantastic. Then you're going to take a round die or anything with a round shape that sort of fits around that space. See, that's too small, so I'm gonna try a bigger one so that you can draw like the domed shape of the top. I don't know how to explain this, but this is to make any hat that's got like that top hat shape, or like that upwards I don't know how to explain this, but just look at how top hats are like. You know, they've got that up thing going on. So after you've done your little shape, you're just going to do some quick fussy cutting around that shape. And you can use this same shape to make the hats, like the hats that the queen wears. Obviously, you wouldn't need to make it that tall, but then you can make it smaller and then add your flower embellishments to the front. It's the exact same shape. So you just fussy cut that out off the camera. Oh my days. Just fussy cut that out and then hopefully come back to the camera when it's all fussy cut and you've got a hat. The basic shape of the hat is done now, so you're just gonna round the corners, because obviously no hat is like dead sharp on the corners, all hats around it. So we're just gonna round the corners and then start adding our decorations. But first check how it looks, and wow, looks stunning already. You could just leave it like that and add some embellishments to the front, but you know, why go so small when you can go big and stressful? Okay, once again, this next part is optional. It's just me being extra about details. But what you're going to do is take a scrap piece of black paper. You just want to give your hat sort of like a decorative panel on the front. I think that's what it is. So you're gonna cut that out the same way that you did the hat, so that it fits over the hat perfectly. And that's about a 3 centimeter piece of scrap paper, 3 centimeters wide, and then you just cut it and it should fit perfectly over the top of that, just like that. Okay, our hat is really starting to look so cool. So what I've done is cut out these pieces of bright colored paper. It's just out of the corners of this cheap cardstock. This is not actually cardstock, sorry. This is just cheap copy paper that's in A6 size, and I've just cut out some of the corners to give me the triangles that give these diagonal shapes, because if you look at a Zulu hat like in the picture there, which is what inspired this, I'm from Southern Africa, so this is a part of my culture. We had wear these flamboyant hats, and that's actually my hat that I made for myself for my traditional wedding day. And you can see I put feathers on mine because I'm just extra. But then traditionally it's just like these beads arranged, as you can see, like the headpiece, it's got beads dangling, and they're just arranged in these diagonal shapes, like is it even diagonal? Why do I keep saying that? In like these triangular shapes. I don't know, half diamonds, whatever. You can see the shapes there that are on the picture. So that's what I was trying to imitate here. And I just fiddled and fussed with this for way too long. So I'm gonna fast forward it to the end, and then you can see the complete hat. So just trim off all that excess, and then you have your hat already done. And make sure you keep the scraps, because that's what we're gonna use to make the dress. I'm sorry guys, I'm recording this voiceover at like 3 a.m. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. But I'm still trying to be all hyper and energetic for you, because I know we all have hard things that we have to deal with. So this part here is optional, very, very optional. I just wanted to add that beading because I felt like it would make the hat complete, because I know what they're supposed to look like. So I just took a bit of thread, regular thread, and a very small needle and some beads. I think they're called glass beads, but these are from Amazon. They're just cheap beads. And then I just strung them through the thread, and then when I had enough, I made like this curved bit to go in the front, and I stuck it down with just double-sided tape. But you can use regular tape, like there was no sewing involved in this. It's literally just threading a couple of beads through the thread and then curving it in the front of the hat, taping it down, and that's just it. I did about 3 of the lines and then I stuck them on, and I also did her earrings the exact same way. I just thought adding earrings, beaded earrings, was so cool, and I really liked that. Even though I went and I fiddled with the earrings even more, I do like how they're looking now. And the top half of our misses is done. So now we're gonna quickly do the bottom half, and it's gonna be so quick. Next, you grab your scraps from earlier and then you use those to sort of like make the boudoir. Yes, I think it's a boudoir neckline dress shape thing. Look, just fiddle around until you see something that resembles a dress that you might even like. And I added some red metallic strip just to add a bit of variation because it was looking a bit too black for me. So let me just show you the finished cut so that you see what I mean. That's our African queen all done. Doesn't she look great? So anyway, I've added a sentiment. That's sentiment thanks that dies from Crafter's Companion, and then the so very much is from one of my tonic sets. I'll link everything in the description below. And then I've also propped up the whole thing, the whole panel, on some foam tape to give it a bit of border. Well, I think because otherwise it's just like a white panel. But I think adding the foam tape just gives it a bit of a different look. So yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry, I've also added some pleating to the hat because the hats are sort of like pleated. So to do that, I just scored a piece of red paper at the 0.5 centimeter intervals, and then I just did a Z fold and cut the shape, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching part 1. There's obviously going to be a part 2 because I don't like to drag out the videos for way too long. So I'll upload the part 2 on the same day as the part 1, so you can watch it one after the other or watch it on different days. But thank you so much for all your support, and thank you for each and every single person who has taken their time to subscribe to the channel. I'm so grateful. You can also check lovebuildsupcrafts.com where there's the blog and access to all of my socials. I'm working on posting more on the blog, so stay tuned.